there is so much noise and chatter that's going on. As an agent out there right now, do you think that's scary? Welcome back to Really Mary. Super excited to have our real estate coach in the house, Emily Kettenburg from Tom Ferry Organization. Emily, how are you?
I'm great, Mary. What a pleasure to be here in your office in Southwest Florida.
Woohoo! Southwest Florida is in the house.
Absolutely.
Along with my dear friend and coach, Emily. So, Emily, you're here in our studio today because you came down and did some training for us. Tell everybody what you were doing today.
So as a coach for the Tom Ferry Organization, I get to work with the top teams and brokerages throughout the country, one of which is the Bartos Group. So I was able to spend some time coming down and FaceTime with the agents, making sure that we're having conversations, critical conversations as to what's happening in the marketplace and making sure that they're best serving their consumer.
Right now, speaking of serving the consumer, there is so much nonsense, noise, chatter. I wouldn't call it nonsense, but noise and chatter that's going on. And as an agent out there right now, Emily, do you think that's scary for a lot of people? You talk to people across the country. What are you seeing?
I do. It's interesting. It's May of 2024, and we're having conversations about having critical conversations with the consumers so that the consumers best understand the headlines, because we know how headlines can often be. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the headlines aren't necessarily what is really happening in the marketplace. So I think that having a clear understanding of agency, of representation, of being able to properly convey that agency and representation makes our coaching clients ahead of the game, right? Unfortunately, right now, still a third of agents and or brokerages have their head in the sand. A third of them are, charging forward and making sure that they're able to have these conversations. And a third of them are saying, maybe I'll wait till July and then I'll figure it out. So I'm so glad that all of our clients are ahead of the game, including the Bartos Group.
Yeah. As I sit there and look out right now and I'm in open houses, agents stop in, Emily, and I'm hearing what's happening in those brokerages and the advice they're getting about what's upcoming. If you're in one of those situations, make sure you're digging in under the covers, understanding what you're going to do, because we've been looking at this and talking about this and preparing for this exact thing that happened for a year.
I know. I think it's a year since we first started having the conversation about it. Tom likes to share the story about the bison and the cows, right? And so when there's a storm, bison charge into the storm. They lean into the storm. Cows, unfortunately, run from the storm, or they just sort of stand around and then have a problem during the storm. So luckily, we've all been able to be bison, and we're leaning in and having these conversations and making sure that we're ready to navigate any changes that occur to the marketplace, whether it be this situation or the same thing that we did during COVID, we pivoted, right? So making sure that we're always ahead of and leaning into to best serve our consumers.
I love that. Emily, there's a lot of events that Tom Ferry Organization has, and you talk at many of them. And if you're out there listening and you're not on a team or not coaching with Tom Ferry Organization, and you want to go to one of these events, give me a shout. Love to help you along that line. If you're confused about how all this is changing for our world, whether you're local here in Southwest Florida and need some advice or somebody to talk to, we're also here to talk to. We'd love to help you further your career, because it's our responsibility as leaders in this business to help others. So until next time, I'm Mary Bartos with Bartos Group of Premier Plus Realty, here in the studio with my very dear friend and coach, Emily Kettenburg.